Ladies and gentlemen, Valkyrie Esports versus eSTONKS tonight on Mirage. The ninth round already underway. Just getting into it now as the kills have gone the way of Valkyrie thus far. There are 3 more players left to find, 2 of which are in spawn, completely separate from the Lone Ranger in mid, Coley. He'll be lost. And not much to do now, but lie in wait. As these last 3 have 2 full HP players to deal with. Both Low Clone and Devi are at 100. And they have isolated Yoko at the very least if they can run him down. It's a good kill. It's a good attempt. But now it's a 1v1. Both players at full HP. And it looks like Devi will actually pull that back with the help of Lil Clone. And they do pull it over the line. eSTONKS do find their choice of sides. Get things underway pretty quickly here. Shouldn't take much longer at all. They get to choose their point of defense. And from there, we roll. eSTONKS deciding to defend here on out, and Valkyrie will be on their attack. See who buys up the utility on their team. And speaking of buying utility, they've done the complete opposite. All 5 with Kevlar. It looks like they're going for a full force attack, a full frontal assault on one point of the map. No smokes for either bomb site, so it looks like they're going to be heading towards mid with a lurker over towards A. They've got one heading his way up towards Catwalk. He's gotten a little bit caught off guard, though, and his teammate's not able to help him out. Coley can't even find one, and Bear finds 2. Teammate also finding 1. Ravens doing solid work. Now Lil Clone and Devi both crossfiring on 2 different points of the map, and it looks like it's going to be a clean sweep from Valkyrie in the pistol round. Only 1 bullet connecting onto Ravens, and that is one hell of a way to get things started on Mirage. And they've got AKs and a Krieg even on Hibasuzawa. And yes, it's Hibasuzawa. Awesome name, I know, I love it. I've had to say it once before, I believe, maybe twice, but it's a fun one. Over towards B, the T's take early control. Underpass is in their possession as well. It's Yoko to hold it. It's only 1 player over at B. It's Low Clone and an off angle with a Desert Eagle, and only a Desert Eagle. He's got a smoke, but should he be met with some contact, it's not likely he'll be able to use that. As Coley reloads close to the A ramp, he'll be taken out very early. Scout now getting to peer over towards the A ramp where his teammate had just fallen, but they're not going to be making their way any farther forward. 2 scouts, as a matter of fact. Both Inflamed and Prevost. An interesting play to make, to say the least, but he'll connect with 1. On to Bear down now to 31. Inflamed will be dealt with immediately, and Lil Clone's the last player left standing. All the way on the other side of the map, the B presence will be left square to none as they keep all 5 alive once again. Valkyrie look to find their second with a bomb plant. They've got money building up now, and eSTONKS have to make a reactionary play in these next couple of rounds because they're not going to be able to buy into this next. They're going to have to wait until round number 4 to do a thing about it. And Valkyrie are going to be loving their odds based on that one. Nova will soon be able to spot, but in the back it's Lil Clone who finds a couple of shots to get at least a Galil. He can drop over his pistol on the next and make somewhat of a buy out of this. If he picks up an AK, Yoko is going to be hitting himself for sure, and that's another kill for him, an extra $300 into the pockets. Surely they don't keep hunting him down. And they won't. He gets to keep it. Gets to live another day. Lil Clone's going to be somewhat happy with that one, somewhat pleased. If they can't win out the round, they'll take whatever small victories they can get. And Valkyrie now leading by 2. eSTONKS will be on 1 more light buy before they can do anything. But so far, so good from Valkyrie. They've been taking their map control very well, doing pretty basic Counter-Strike things. The fundamentals are there. They spread out across the map evenly, and now they're going to be taking it a little bit slower. Yoko not going in underpass this time around, maybe fearing for a push. He's going to hold it with Bear, and now they both group up and make their way forwards. Holding the bomb is Nova. He's going to be holding for any top mid aggression, maybe expecting it sooner or later. Devi with a Desert Eagle on his own, a flashbang in his eyes, and now 2 players make their way forwards. No bomb yet, no entry yet either, and the headshot is there. Devi's gotten the first AK picked up, and now they've got to be careful. Yoko, don't show your head too soon, buddy. As Hibasuzawa finds at least 1 in return, it'll be a double lead down. 50 range, not going to be too good for that one. And Lil Clone may be able to take out the B player, Yoko, who had already found the first in return, but no, instead he's going to find a double. It'll be his round, a 3rd for Valkyrie. Here Here comes the buy. AWP for Devi now, and AUG in the hands of Inflamed, and the rest are going to be well-equipped with rifles just the same. Utility galore as well, and no Galil means that no head armor is no problem for eSTONKS. They're going to be able to challenge them just as hard as they may please. AWP now peeking in towards mid, won't have a challenge. It's the bomb on the backup air, who drops a Molotov into Khan, and then bolts back to the A bomb site where all 4 of his teammates reside. Coley has to go huge, and a player towards CT. Inflamed has been flashed off. It's going to be all to him now under the balcony. The first player makes himself known to him. He'll find the first frag. Not quite going to transition. Half blind. More than half blind, really. And a flashbang goes back into the site from Inflamed as he tries to get a little bit more information and scout things out. It's a retake towards majority CT1. Now isolated towards connector and good damage onto Hibasuzua. But no headshot means no kill. Close. The distance is going to prove less fruitful than maybe he imagined. As the smokes will soon begin to fade, the CTs will have a solid look onto the bomb site in just a moment. The AUG of Inflamed, the widest angle to be held. Nobody walking into him, and now the T's get a little bit antsy now that they don't have any utility left other than a single flash. Maybe they fight in towards CT with that. I'm not quite sure. Planning the opposite of triple. It's nobody towards Khan any longer. He's made his way back in towards spawn. Prevost. He's going to be telling his teammates to wait. He's going to ask them to sit idly by as he gets in towards this back line before they activate. And here they come. Now making their way through CT. The first up at bat will be Lil Clone. Low HP player at the ramp's been dealt with. Headshot from Yoko, and it's got to be more. Much more. Bottom of connector. Nova can't get it done in a 1v3 now for Bear. He's got no utility to flash any players off any angles, but a quick headshot at the very least, finding the first. The player already sticking the bomb, Inflamed, covering his back. And it looks like eSTONKS finally put themselves on the board, but nevertheless, it will be a buyback from Valkyrie. Not a whole lot they can do to stop it from coming through, but eSTONKS will be buying themselves, and it'll be a little bit worse off in the last round. A FAMAS in the hands of Low Clone, and Coley's not going to be too much farther off. Actually gets an AUG dropped over from his teammate. That's pretty helpful. AWP in the hands of Nova now, though. He'll be challenging with his weapon of choice in towards mid. Devi the one to hold it. No smoke in his valleys. Not just yet. He'll take a timing shot, and he'll miss out on it. Now it's really on to Prevost to get all the information that he can from Catwalk for his teammates, as a majority of these players are in towards mid. That's where they have to be focusing their efforts. They were given it for free. Majority of these rounds with only one player holding on to them, and they're going to take advantage of that. Prevost is the only line of defense at the moment. Clearing things out slowly but surely. They go in towards connector. It'll be Coley holding for it. Prevost not taking a wide stance on this one. The crosshair is missing from Coley's screen for some reason. Peeks in towards Khan. Raven spots him. And now he's got to do more than just stand around as he loses his life. Prevost can't trade. He's not given any angles. No visibility. Means the man disadvantage cannot be altered anytime soon. Now a minute tick down from the round. It's 50 seconds now. Inflamed has to be very careful at the A-bomb site as they make their way forwards, 4 of which one lurks in towards mid. Prevost spamming for triple, but nobody's even there yet. Nyoko will have heard that, so he can calm that there's a player over at Catwalk to be dealt with. One inside of CT's. Put in his tomb. Devi next up at bat with the AWP. Finds the first. Not quite going to get the second. The timing looked there, but Ravens gets away with his life for even a moment as a flashbang allows his team entryway back in. AWP posted on him deep, and it'll be an easy picking for Nova. He may just go down after this one. Hibasuzu was swinging in wide to try and do something about it, but Ravens is there to support, and Nova re-swings. Finds his aggression, finds his footing, pivots, and finds that frag as well. Valkyrie doing a wonderful job of regrouping, really, and finding themselves in bomb sites, and really just cracking down on each and every angle that they need to. And those opening picks are definitely going to help out. They find themselves in a man advantage time and time again, it feels like now. Fast ace smokes for stairs and jungle. 2 players to defend. Deagle at range. Inflamed already down to 20. His teammates not doing much better. It's Coley who tries to help. But holy, oh my lord! Inflamed finds 2 on the Desert Eagle. As a matter of fact, he does pull it off. And there's still Coley here with a shotgun and a mag 7. Ravens finds 1 and now evens the situation. At 25 HP, though, the shotgun could be potent at this range. Burning alive inside of the Molotov. He'll see a player jumping up top ticket. His teammate does actually find that kill. I was going to say Cyclone. Lil Clone. Doing some solid work there with the Desert Eagle on the low HP player. Nova's been spotted. His head's been seen. The Deagle will take it off. Low HP onto Ravens, and it's all onto him. The AK picked up by Devi. He's only got to hit 1 more bullet onto Ravens. He's on the other side of triple. in the 1 versus 1. This round could have gone haywire, and oh, Devi, no. Oh, Devi, no. Oh, no. He didn't realize that he was on the other end, and that'll be an ace from Ravens in that round to claw it back in the 1 versus 2 clutch. With such low HP, read the whole time, and his opponent misread the situation, I believe. He went right back into CT after he had killed his teammate, but instead he falls his way in towards triple. I guess there is no way he could have known it. He timed him pretty well. And that will grant Valkyrie a round all in the back of that timing. In reality, Devi in towards mid. Not going to be taking a peek this time around. Instead, he'll be holding a flashbang, a Molotov to go up towards the top of the boxes. And oh my god, Prevost is going all the way in for it. He'll find Yoko and he'll fall his way immediately back. Nova can't do a thing about it. The AWP posted around the other side of the smoke, couldn't catch him in time, and now, for the first time in quite some time, they're at a man disadvantage and make it 2. Valkyrie find themselves on the back foot very early on, 20 seconds into the round, and they're already trying to find bits and bobs to work with in the moments to come. Hibasuzu up. No crosshair either. He'll be taking his time waiting for his teammates to arrive. A flashbang goes over, spotting 2 players inside CT. The one tap not quite going to work out for him. The AWP of Nova, though, is going to be ringing out, and there's one more player left. In flame. Not been spotted just yet. Nova goes in for another, and of course he'll land it. He's not done yet. 1 versus 3. He's going to be closed in from distance in just a moment's notice. Nova on the other side, just waiting for this triple peek. A jiggle is all he asks. And there it is. He'll be giving it. 1v2. Players close by. Good HP on him as well. It's going to be a very tight hold from Low Clone, playing off of his teammates' contact. And there it is. The peek, and Prevost will punish. One vegan towards mid. I apologize. Business had come up for a moment. Flying into the window. Prevost goes down on catwalk, and his teammate's been dealt with as well. All of a sudden, this eco has turned into a nightmare. Valkyrie have overrun eSTONKS well and truly, finding all 4 frags in the first 20 seconds of the round. And the last player left standing is over towards B. He finds at least 1 consolation, but what does that really mean in the long run? He's going to try and pick up that weapon. Ravens is already here with a sniper rifle holding his angle as he walks around the corner. He might not be ready for this deep position from Low Clone. He's got 12 bullets left in his clip. He uses most of them, 8 of them, and he's got 4 left. Has to reload. USP pulled, and he's got to be on the run now. I'm not sure how you pull this one back, Ravens, with a pistol of his own, but oh, there it is. Nice connection. Making do with what he's got, and that's going to be 4. One more player over towards Cat Bear. Finally closing that out. It got a little dicey in terms of the damage being sent back, but I'm sure Low Clone will be at least somewhat happy with that. His stats surely will. Here we are with a 4-round lead for Valkyrie at the moment. Close at A ramp is in flame with a P250. They're playing up against pistols once again, Valkyrie, so there's not a whole lot to worry about, but there is when Nova's dinked down to 14 by a P250 so very soon. And the bomb has been spotted in the back of apartments on its lonesome. If they drop this, it could be a nightmare, but bear. A night bear. Just kidding. Don't leave. Couple of kills found across the map thus far, mostly favoring Valkyrie. Only 1 favoring eSTONKS, but there's one player in towards mid. I'm not sure they're even hearing these players running their way up. Low HP onto one of them, and oh, Prevost, you just missed your timing on the player to peek at the lower part of Con. 14 HP on Nova would have been a 1-shot, 1-kill. Bear not so far off as well, but instead they find themselves with a 5-round lead, and a buyback for eSTONKS means this is make or break for them, honest and truthfully. This really is the round that could swing things back into their favor, but if they don't win it out, it could be the end of the line, at least on the CT side, until we get on to the attack, because Valkyrie are 1 with him winning out the half. Out and towards mid again. Debbie takes a timing shot, and as per usual, he isn't going to be successful in taking that peek. But Prevost, he's getting a little bit antsy himself. He wants a little bit more than what he's been given in the last couple of rounds, going up towards Catwalk, now making his way into ladder room. And there's a player inside a con. He's easily been swarmed. Bear down to 7, but it doesn't matter. They have the man advantage. Prevost unable to get anything done just yet. Bear's on 7 HP. This should be a free kill for him, to say the least. And there it is. The head taken clean off. Another kill over towards A, and now it's a 3v3. Time to spend. He's going to hear these players walking their way up to him, and Prevost has found yet another in the back lines, and he's going to go for even more. Prevost has been the hero of the round up towards Cat. As he pushes his way forward, he trudges his way through 3 players, and Inflamed has found 2 of his own, and that will be eSTONKS, as I had said just a moment ago, putting themselves back on the map. They found themselves in a very realistic position to maybe pull things back to a more respectable scoreline on their choice of sides, keeping in mind Valkyrie were the ones who had come out on the short end of the stick in the knife round, so surely preparation shows, and that's a nice jump from Low Clone, and that'll allow him fast positioning up towards the left side of the balcony on apartments, and at most levels, at a lot of levels, you'll see them not clear this angle out very hard. At least below main, IM and open. A lot of times in main as well, especially on eco rounds. We'll see how hard they clear him here, because he's going to see the first player make his way out, and he goes a little bit too soon. He activates when he doesn't have to. Nobody even spotted him, but Prevost will find 1 in return, as the retake will now have to be on as the bomb goes down. Working up against 2 rifles. Flashbang goes off the wall, and there are 3 players over on Catwalk making their way into this bomb site. Not sure how this one's going to pan out, but we'll have to wait and see all together. A flashbang goes high from Nova. Jiggles around, spots one with the AUG, and there are so many more to be seen. And he spots all of them. There's the AWP ringing out. And time's ticking way low. Like, way too low. Ravens spamming with the Deagle will connect, and Nova gets one of his own as well. And Valkyrie have stolen yet another one away. I don't know how this is actually being allowed by the boys of eSTONKS, being completely honest. Yoko will go down to the bomb, but that's not that big of a deal at all. That's kind of unacceptable if you're eSTONKS right there. Losing that first player, especially having that trigger discipline stripped of you, you shoot as the player jumps out the window, and I don't really know if that's the best idea. Not only that, but then he goes wide swinging and misses out on the next couple of players who were lined up for him in apartments, unfortunately for him. But I don't know, maybe there's more to be seen. Nova going for the vitality boost. He spots the player making his way across, but he can't quite react in time, and I don't blame him. That's a fast shot to hit. That was the AWP missing its chance inside of mid. Devi trying to dump some utility over on their way, but not going to be successful in doing so. Nova dropping in flames. It's a pick towards A early on, and now they're split 2-2. Bomb still over towards the other side of T-spawn towards B apartments, but the A site's starting to be cleared out. Coley with a FAMAS tucked into the corner. Teammate inside of CT, Devi with the sniper rifle. He's going to be the most potent player that they need to come alive right now, and he'll find the first into the round. Thankfully. Flashbanging towards CT, and Devi's fully blinded. He gets away with 4 health on him, though. And through the smoke, Coley will do some good damage as well, and Nova holding on to the angle, misses his chance as well, and that will allow Coley a second chance at life. 3v3 now. Interesting position we find ourselves in, but Nova finds an interesting position as well as he goes in for so many more kills on the AWP. He's proving why that big green is his and his only. Devi, not quite the same luck, buddy. Better luck next time. Nova on the sniper rifle has done it all. In round number 12, as we head into the 13th, their money is just overwhelming CTs at the moment because they only have enough to scrape together a pistol buy. Flick of the match. That's the round right there. Those were the flicks of the match. Coming out from Nova as he had a little bit of a slow start in the first 3 rounds or so, I believe. He's found himself now. And it's better slightly late than never. Coley going in to the Palace, only met by a bullet. Nova finding one over in mid as well. He holds for the aggression, and of course it will be delivered to him. Ibasuzawa eats a nade, but he's not too frustrated with that one. He's only down to 80. It's not lethal whatsoever. A flesh wound, to say the least. The Desert Eagles are going to have a hard time putting him into the dirt, even still. Out in mid, though, Prevost tries his luck. Not quite going to hit the lottery on that one. Inflamed under the balcony will surely be checked. Prevost on catwalk has a player take his place. Little clone. And there you go. Steam won't load. What is the score? Oh, stream won't load. Unluco Maluco. 10-3, as my favorite chat member, ICCS, has let everybody know. Out in towards mid very quickly with a lot of players. It's going to be an Astralis smoke to the top. And that'll allow them all that mid-control that they've been giving up all map long. And that is a very good reactionary play from eSTONKS, but one that's a little bit too late for my likings. And now they're going to head out towards A. That reactionary play is an even better one. They find themselves swarming the A bomb site with only one player to find. Through the side of the smoke, they're dancing around these bullets as they come, as they fly, and there goes a little clone through the smoke, and he has no support whatsoever. He's just going flying for it. Devi on the AWP. Prevost lines up one more for close CT, though. He's got to be careful. Hibasuzu on the other side. He takes a shot off, and Hibasuzu is going to capitalize. He'll swing and take his head clean off with 4 in the round. Yoko going to steal out the ace, but an 11th round for Valkyrie is good enough. Last round of the half, and Valkyrie have been utterly dominant all the way through. A couple of rounds got a little bit dicey, and it looked like eSTONKS may have found themselves an identity in the game, but instead, things continue to go haywire. A nade goes out towards the top of mid, will connect with nobody just yet. No damage done. Prevost, though, makes his way in towards ladder room, at least. With an SMG, though, it's going to be very difficult for him to get anything done significantly unless they make their way up through Cat. In con already. Hibasuzu was holding for that window player that they had not been aware of, but he's been playing this position for quite some time, a couple of times. Scout catches one at the top of connector and then flicks it back down to take his damage and continue onwards as he goes in for more. Devi, wonderful stuff from him this round as he does a near 400 damage and 2 kills of his own, and a miraculous round in very little time despite having no mid control. And that's very well done from eSTONKS in the last as we wait to go into the second half. It shouldn't be all too long now. 11-4, Valkyrie leading by 7. As they now look to lock down each and every part of the map. A little bit better than eSTONKS had, hopefully. And eSTONKS have a lot to live up to after that flawless 2 rounds. That started off the last half for Valkyrie. If they want any sign of life, any sign of success, they're going to have to replicate just that. And it ain't over till it's over, so I'm going to reserve all my comments until the end. It ain't over until it's over. What in God's green earth did you just put in chat? What in God's green earth, man? Spam goes through the smoke. They've got a nade and 2 flashes, as well as a set of dualies onto Yoko. Interesting choice. Bear will get at least the info. No damage dealt just yet, but none in return. And Bear will clean house on at least the first as they fly their way up through connector, though. They're going to be chasing him down. Bear's got to be careful. And in CT, Ravens, he's going to have a couple of players up at his level as well. A flashbang goes in, and oh my god, this is phenomenal. This is good timing from the CTs as they make their way through. Prevost is going to find one. Ravens on the return. It's 3 versus 2, and inside of CT, they've gotten control. Prevost now in a 1 versus 2 for the ace. This is going to be a tall task, to say the least. 31 HP on him. And a nade, but I don't really know how likely it is that he'll even be able to get to use that nade as they make their way to the site. Tap on top of the bomb. And the nade is... Oh my... Have to be professional. This is a professional cast. I can't lose composure. eSTONKS losing out on the pistol round in the post plant. 3 kills for Prevost, but at the end of it all, it'll be all for none. Valkyrie hit 12. Oh man, that's awesome. Down towards mid. A scout soon to meet him. A nade just barely mistimed, and Bear not spotting them, and their buy's actually worse off than the T-side buy after that plant, interestingly enough. As they now group up to hit B, possibly. More than likely, they set themselves in line. There are two SMGs waiting for them on the other side, but they're going to be pulling back towards A now. They changed their plans once again. Only two smokes to do it with, so I can only assume it'll be right side smokes as they set them up. Yep, here's the stairs set up. Here's the jungle set up. And they've got a single flashbang to get out with them. So here they go, lobbing them out at just a minute left in the round. We'll see how things pan out. It's very, ooh, hiccups now joining the cast. It's very unlikely, or very likely. Well, I don't know about very likely. I'll just shut up and cast the round. 2 kills for Raven on the top of the balcony, and the SMG gets activated as well. And holy, oh my, what is going on in this matchup? eSTONKS wiped all 5. Not a single frag their way, and Valkyrie is absolutely stomping. I can't even find 3 of the kills in the round. That's how fast they came through. Ravens with the first 2 on the balcony with the FAMAS. The 1 flashbang is not enough to take away his vision, and the rest of his teammates go flying through and get the kills themselves. They have no patience, and I don't blame them. They want to get this one over with as soon as possible. At 13-4, they're not so far away from doing it. Only 5 players left standing for 3 rounds in a row. So like 15 guys. And oh, a little bit of overzealousness from Hibasuzuwa gets him tagged up to 69. A player on the other side. Rebost already tagged down very low as well. And on the other side of the apartments, the reload has been heard. And I think he wants to go through this. I think he wants to be sent. And I don't blame him. There are 2 players here. He and Yoko are going to hear that player running his way back. And Bears found one on the A-bomb site as well. They've got full apps control, so they don't have to worry about anything. Hibasuzuwa is going to be left there to hang. And a molly at his toes will burn him at the stake. 3 players still standing for eSTONKS. 1 is missing an arm, a leg, probably maybe an eye or an ear. And in top mid, Low Clone is not having a good time. Ravens has to be careful about the player in the balcony. He's low HP though, and he flicks right onto him. He's going to take that kill and keep himself at a solid standing in terms of KD, as well as the rest of his teammates who are looking up pretty well off as well. And especially 14-4, you can't really afford not to, I guess, you know. So, as we come closer and closer to that seemingly inevitable end, it's the EWP now for the first time out for Nova. We'll see what he can do with that on the CT side on the defense. It'll be a fun one to watch for sure. They gave up mid control. They've got a player inside a connector, but Bear is tagged up just for the jiggle. He literally didn't even see into mid, and he's already down to 48. He has no idea how many players are there other than 1, but now Yoko has got information that there are a lot. A lot. Ramp control is there as Bear holding as best as he can on the HP that he's got. And here they come. 1 inside of Con. 1 makes his way outside of Palace, but Bear on the crab walk spray actually does connect. Ravens, though, has been waiting all this time. Hibasuzuwa has to rotate over sooner rather than later, and Ravens all going to be on his shoulders on how this round pans out. Inflamed. Back turn. Dink found. Down at low HP, and that nade's going to finish the job, surely. See you later. Another player close up, and you better know that Ravens finds that. He doesn't throw those away, and Yoko will close the round and bring us to map and match point on Mirage. 15-4 at the moment. Valkyrie have put on an utter masterclass, really, and it actually really hasn't been all that incredible of a match. They haven't been doing anything really phenomenal, if I'm being completely honest. It's not even bad-mouthing. I'm just saying that eSTONKS really just haven't been putting together a very cohesive T-side or CT side. And I think what really shined through on this map for Valkyrie was their T-sided utility usage. I think that's really what got them to look their best, I think. That's my bet anyway. That's my call. A lot of really good setups and a lot of really good trading. They always grouped up and hit their bomb sites effectively as a unit together. They were never separated one by one unless it was a lurk. And there you go. Valkyrie with yet another man advantage as Prevost goes flying through connector with a flashbang, doesn't check his corners, and he'll get punished for it. Bear will be loving that one. He'll take it every day of the week, and inside of mid, they've got to be careful because there's That AWP of Nova still lurking and no longer a mid-smoke. Flashbang goes into the window. It's going to miss. And now he gets to peek into it. Doesn't quite catch the player up catwalk just yet, but Devi is literally not at all ready for the repeat from the AWP player with the USP. Spots his head, goes in for the finishing of the frag, and that will be all she wrote, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. Coley and Lil Clone, the last two remaining. He'll be caught, taken down to very low HP early on. His teammate's been dropped, and he's all on his lonesome in the 1 versus 5. He's going to find the 1. 2 HP on Nova won't matter nowhere near. A 16-4 victory for the gang at the end of the day. Type quit in console there. I've got send it back to the starting soon, I guess, because I don't really have anything else. But that will be the end of days. A pretty solid stop there from Valkyrie. The boys getting it done in a pretty quick fashion. Can't complain about that one. And make sure you guys stop by the Valkyrie Twitter. That will be the page you want to stop by. Valkyrie merch on the screen as well. Use code Valkyrie for 5% off at acquire.ca/Valkyrie. And if you want to get my handle, it'll be in the description or in the chat, I believe. If you type !caster, I'm WhyNotFPS on Twitter, and I'm WhyNot1009 on Twitch. If you ever want to catch me casting over on my own channel, or maybe you want to talk on Twitter or something like that, who knows. Caster smells like smelly socks. All right, interview time as we make our way over into the Valkyrie channel. I just have to be moved over is all, because I have no access in it myself.
Oh.
Hey, all right, there we go. All 4
Hello.
players here. We're missing just 1, but I think I got a question for maybe each of you here, because it's been an interesting game watching all of you, actually, to be honest. And I want to start off with Nova. So, Nova, I think the most interesting thing to me is having seen you for the last couple of seasons as a half-AWPer, half-rifler sometimes. This is the first time I've seen you in the full rifle role again in full swing, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you feel this season coming into it as a primary AWPer again.
Yeah. So I've been opping for a long time. Quick. I've been opping for a long time. I think this is probably my maybe 14th season as a primary opper. Last season definitely was a change of pace for me, but I think I really realized kind of where my strengths lie, which is with the big green. And the team really enables me to kind of have a lot of freedom to kind of do what I want with the op. It's really nice being back on it. I don't think that I've revved all the way up to where I can be yet. Still kind of getting back into the swing of things, but I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far, and I'm very happy with how the team is going so far.
So the transition back into opping has been a smooth one, but you don't even think you've hit your peak yet, is what I'm getting, yeah?
Exactly.
And that's what we like to
Give me
hear
a bit.
about. That's what, yeah, that's what we like to hear going into the rest of the season. Only match number 3, and he's only heating up. So Bear, I think what I noticed about you most throughout that game was your ability to just not throw your life away, I wouldn't say, not even in the sense of an entry fragger, but I felt like the information that you got and the kills that you were finding were really impactful throughout the map early on in rounds. How did you feel about reading this team in specific on T side? Because I felt like a lot of the rounds that you guys had the most influential plays on, you were finding a lot of early picks.
Yeah, I appreciate that recognition. I truly do. And I didn't think they were the most complex team. Obviously, there was a bit of a gap between the two teams.
Yeah, of course.
But I think they tried doing the best. I think it really just came down to their execution was poor. Like, they got the right ideas. When we made presence somewhere, they're like, oh, well, they think we're here. But then we just kind of we all outbrained them. But obviously, at the end of the day, I made the end game calls and such. But everyone did their parts. Everyone got great information. But yeah, as you said, I did get a lot of that early information. I think I made pretty decent calls off of it.
Yeah, I'd honestly agree so too. I was saying during the cast that I think that your best strength throughout the whole game in terms of looking good was how you decided to move around the map, and every time you guys took a bomb site, your pathing and your grouping ready to just go into a bomb site was always looked like you guys were in the same page. Everything was dry and cut, and you had no flaws in the plan where it looked like there'd be a hole where a CT could make their way through and ruin it. Very few times I saw that.
Appreciate that very much, especially with the new player coming in, Raven, first game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what?
Yeah.
We'll go off with that then. Raven, how do you feel having stepped in for the team for their first game here on Mirage? How do you feel about the confidence levels now?
to that first game. Feeling pretty good. I only had 1 day to really get all the strats down, but pretty easy.
So only more good to come is what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
That's what we like also. And last, but definitely not least, Hibasuzawa. That is how it's pronounced, yeah?
Yeah, close enough.
Not,
Very
that's not
close.
it? All right. Let me know. Fill me in. Set me straight.
Right, well, I mean, most say it Heavy Suzawa, you know.
Hebi
or just
Suzawa?
for short, or Hebe for short. Yeah.
I could do Hebi Suzawa. That's kind of sick, actually. That's a lot more fun to say. So clearly in that match, you were having a really good time going around the map and just farming the kills that were given to you. It seemed that you had a lot of space to work with your teammates kind of finding and pushing around the map for you. And you were kind of playing a really solid cleanup role. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's just kind of like I wait to give information and then I just kind of like make a play off that information. And with how hard we were dominating, I really get to farm games like this.
Yeah, so it must have felt really good going into this one and then closing this one in such a fashion. I feel like you guys were never out of the driver's seat. And I just want to say, moving forwards in the season, I personally, whether or not I'm casting, am very excited to see how this pans out because it's a team that, honestly, I wasn't anticipating coming together very quickly, especially seeing how the season has just been kind of like thrown roster-wise into especially you guys having a new player for the third match. So I am personally very excited to see you guys for the remainder of the season.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Big time.
I agree.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you heard it here first, folks. There's only more to be seen from each of these players. We have Raven on his first game, Nova still heating up on the AWP, and the calls have just gotten absolutely sublime on these teams that, let's be honest with ourselves. That team was a little bit lost, it seems, sometimes. But we'll see how it stacks up against the challenge, especially as we hit playoff season later on. So thank you guys once again. The people
Shout out
watching.
to my grandma.
Shout out to Nova's grandma, and thank you to the players as well for a wonderful game. And we will see you guys in the next game.
Appreciate the
Watching
interview. You
all.
have a good one.
Absolutely. You as well, boys. And that will conclude this stream. Ladies and gentlemen, the interviews have come to a close, and we will be heading out. I'd like to thank you all once again before I sign off, though, for joining me tonight. And I'll catch you in the next, hopefully,